When I think pure, awesome, brainless carnage and destruction, no other series comes to my mind faster than Twisted Metal. And I think my favorite Twisted Metal would be Twisted Metal 2. Not for any real reason, nothing concrete. I guess it's just the one I grew up with the most. I love this game, and it's not technically a polished game. I mean, the graphics could be a lot better, and the cars don't control very well. If this was a racing game, this would just be a horrible game, because the cars control poorly. Sometimes it's hard to turn the right way, the way you want to. It's a little iffy when you're trying to back up, especially if you have to go up a hill while you're backing up and an enemy is driving towards you. You're shooting, trying to just line yourself up with the enemy and driving, and it can get pretty frustrating. If this was a racing game, it would be bad, but the controls for a car destruction game are good enough to make the game fantastic. And of course, we have to remember this is a game from the 90s. You get all these different cars. Sometimes they're not even cars, sometimes they're just like roadwork equipment. Really, this is the spiritual prequel to Roadwork Simulator. Some cars are just objectively better than others. I mean, you can't do much on a little motorcycle. If you're in a gigantic armored vehicle with a bunch of weapons and missiles, and you're fighting some guy in a tiny little motorcycle with a passenger seat, you're gonna obliterate him. Sure, he's gonna be a little faster, but this game is not about speed. Like I said, the cars don't control that great, so speed isn't as necessary in this game as pure defense and just straight up power. You can be the slowest car in the game, but if you're good at lining yourself up with the enemy, and if you hit hard enough with all the various weapons in the game, you're going to be an absolute colossus and nothing will touch you. And there's things to help you out if, say, you're playing the two-player mode of this game and your friend just has an objectively better car. You can outsmart your friend. There's all these pickups in the game. You're not just using your regular weapon. There's a bunch of special weapons, a bunch of different missiles, and also there's health pickups scattered all throughout the level. So if you're like down to 5% health, just get out of the bad situation. That's, I guess, a good thing about being in a fast vehicle. You can speed off like a gazelle into a safer place. Hopefully you run into a health pickup and you live to fight another day. You lost the battle, but the war is not over. The cars have their own attributes. I mean, some cars are great at just shooting, but some cars are so big, you can actually use them to ram into the enemies. Like if you're using a construction vehicle, you just use your little hand thing to pick up the enemy cars and just smash them. Just suplex the car like it's professional wrestling. You don't want to come into close range with a gigantic car if you're in a small car. Even if it's a big car that can't pick you up, if they ram into you, they're gonna just siphon a ton of your health. And that's one of the things I love about this game. When your health goes down, your car gets visibly broken up. And when your car gets broken up, it starts working like it's a broken down piece of junk. Like the engine starts making these crappy noises like the car's about to die. The car doesn't handle as good as it does when it's at full health. I mean, just how destructible all the cars are is awesome. And the environments are destructible too. I mean, there's all sorts of things to blow up in the environment to maybe reveal some new power-ups, or even to reveal like hidden places in the game to pick up special power-ups, or just to hide and rest your sore bones while the other cars are just fighting, so you can come out when there's like 1 or 2 cars left and just steal the round because you've been hiding from the combat. There's also a lot of different environments. I mean, the game takes place in basically any cool place on Earth you can think of, from New York to Paris to a frozen tundra to a farm where you're basically driving around in 5 feet of hay. Twisted Metal 2 for the PlayStation 1 gets a memorable 90s nostalgic classic game score of an 8.4 out of 10. This might not be a game you'll like if you never grew up with it, but if you grew up with it and haven't played it in 12 years, pick it up and get ready for some hardcore gaming nostalgia. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.